Has there ever been a time in your life where you felt like you're about to miss out on something, but it all turned out way better than you could have expected? So this is a story of another one of my childhood events. And in this case, it's the story of the circus. And so when I was at school one day, I don't remember how old I was. I was a young kid, but it was primary school age. And we're at school and all the kids were talking about how the circus was coming to town. The circus is on tonight. Who's going? They all had plans. They all knew about it. They all knew the circus was coming. I'd not heard a word about it. They were like, everybody's going. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be so exciting. And I was absolutely distraught. I guess how I don't know about this circus. I don't know about anything going on. Everyone's so excited, and being a kid and being so desperate to fit in and desperate to be involved on things, and just the idea of everybody going to do this without me made me very upset. And in the afternoon, coming home on the bus, everybody's still talking about it, and I came home and I was just absolutely so upset. I remember coming with comes in from work with the car and comes and tells me, he goes, "I'll tell you something." He goes, "I'm really good mates with the guy that runs that circus, and we do have tickets, and we are going." And such a turnaround, because here I was so excited at first. Well, such a turnaround because I was so distraught and so upset that I was going to miss out on something, when the truth was that there was something else great happening. And that's not the end of the story, because Dad did take me down to the circus, and Dad did know the guy that was running the circus at my father's work. Through that, my father was able to know this guy and was actually friends with him, and he even got tickets cheap. And my dad went and let that man know that I was there. And so there was a whip cracking exhibition happening, and he was running like a little show and he got me up there and hung a bit of paper out of the back of my pants and cracked the whip and knocked that paper out of my pants, and I got to be on stage and got to be a special participant in that circus. Not only did I get to attend the circus, I got treated like a VIP. And the journey of that was such an emotional roller coaster, to go from completely unawares about something, to finding out some information about the circus coming to town, to becoming distraught that I was going to miss out, absolute FOMO, feeling a real sense of separation and disconnection from my peers, that they got to have something that I wasn't going to be able to have. And then for that to turn around and actually find that the truth was that I was in a much better position than them. I had connections. How do you put this? There was mechanisms and the world moving, and forces beyond my purview, forces beyond my awareness were moving to bring what I loved into my life, and I didn't even know. And that sadness, and such a great lesson in that story about emotions and how our emotions are fickle and our emotions don't tell the truth. Because we're taught so much these day and age to honour our emotions and feel our emotions and learn what our emotions are telling us. And this is such a classic example, because the emotions were telling me that I was afraid. They were telling me that I felt disconnected from my friends. They're telling me that I had a fear that I was going to miss out on things. That's the truth of what my emotions were telling me. However, my perception at the time, and being so engrossed, was my emotions were telling me that I was missing out and I was disconnected and I was going to be separate from my friends and disconnected and moved even further apart. But it wasn't the truth. The truth was that I was far more connected, and there was opportunities coming for me, and there was a chance for me to have my joy and my happiness. And not only that, it was beyond that. I got to see an exercise of my father being very loving, my father having connections that I wouldn't have expected him to have, my father taking actions that showed that he loved me, and a chance to develop a gratitude for something like that. Like, that's such a grand gesture that he took on his part to use his position and his contacts and his power and his what do you say, oversight as a grown man, having those resources and connections to do something for me because I was his son and he loved me, and to be able to bring that. Such a surprise. And I think there's a lesson in that for all of us. I mean, think about a time. When are there times in your life where your emotions have either filled you through of fear or bitterness or desperation and absolute fear, and just being completely encompassed by this strong overriding feeling of devastation, of dread, of bad things coming down the line, only to find out after the fact that that wasn't true? Leave a comment down in the bottom of any experiences you've had in your life. I mean, I've heard stories similar to, it's like sales, right? You're kind of in sales and you're just sad that you're not selling anything, and then a big sales job comes through. Like, these things do happen